Vega, dog. My daddy always told me to look before I leap and think before I speak, and watch out for the company I keep, and always pack a heat when I'm out in the streets, and keep an eye out for the crooked police. I'ma let you see the world through my eyes. I'ma let you see, expose all the lies. Born in the belly of the beast, prison of Babylon, refugee from the east. These mean streets, seems like the world just got beef with a nigga. Whole system designed to slay, he had a nigga, yeah. I used to think that's how the game go, and it ain't gon' change, so I'm like, fuck it, I'll just sell dough and find a bad chick to bang, hit the club and make it rain. Buy the flyest whip and sit it on some things, wrong understanding, never commanded that my spirit be fed. What if I told you everything you thought was true was planted in your head by this wicked ass system? Frontline by politicians who will never expose their true intentions. Low population, 9/11 was a fake. Masonic order staring niggas right in the face. We got fluoride in our water, chemtrails in the sky. Adam White's hot law fires. I'ma let you see, yeah, the world through my eyes. Yeah, I'ma let you see it. Yeah, expose all the lies. My daddy always told me, look before I leap and think before I speak, and watch out for the company I keep, and always pack a heat when I'm out in the streets, and keep an eye out for the crooked police. Yeah, my spirit vexed with these priests, rapping in wolves as they pretend to be sheep. Hope your pocket's deep. For a small fee, you can get saved, my nigga. Whole system devised to get the tithes out of nigga, yeah. I used to think that's how the game go, and it ain't gon' change, and I just couldn't get the Holy Ghost. In the pews, I felt shame, cause I didn't see the change, never knowing that him and I is the same. Romans chapter 7, what if I told you you was being misled, and everything you thought you knew was true was planted in your head by a paid off bishop, Babylonian henchman. Instead of the truth, you get religion, son of salvation, indoctrination with lies. These pagan customs ain't even of the Most High. We got Rex 84 and Bohemian Grove Isles, and still in debt to the Rothschilds. I'ma let you see the world through my eyes. I'ma let you see, expose all the lies. My daddy always told me, look before I leap and think before I speak, and watch out for the company I keep. Always pack a heat when I'm out in the streets, and keep an eye out for the crooked police. What if I told you you was being misled, and everything you thought you knew was true was planted in your head? Yeah.
What is that?
You're gonna have to kill me if you won't let me speak my peace. You're gonna have to murder me if you won't let my spirit run free. I make it hard to breathe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she gon' make it, we don't take it.
I make it hard to breathe. Yeah.
I'ma have to clear my throat on this one. You feel me?
No.
I make it hard to breathe.
Like men don't
yeah.
evolve and change from what they used to be. Like we supposed to erase trauma from our history. Mentality bruised, victims of PTSD. The stains of what y'all used to do might still haunt me. An ever-present danger to my kin. A common enemy, you were never a stranger, but maybe from within. My melanin is the essence of all men, but yet we treated like peasants in the world we living in. What can I get an amen? That means we all agree that we've been duped by cavemen and sacrificed for sitting on thrones as gods to being caged in. Mental enslavement from years of brewing in this strange blend where we don't make our own culture, we just plug in and get told. Well, I then I express my pain through my mic and my pen in the fire or in the lion's den.
You're gonna kill me if you won't let me speak my peace. You're gonna have to murder me if you won't let my spirit run free. I make it hard to breathe. Yeah. I make it hard to breathe, yeah.
We gon' make it, don't know.
I make it hard to breathe, yeah.
They gon' get you, you gon' get it right now. They gon' get whoop, they gon' get whoop, they gon' get whoop.
Keep running, bro. We gotta fight back, man. We can't keep running, they gon' kill us anyway, fighting to the death. We got to.
We on the grind now.
Turn up. They don't like us, man. We can't turn the cheek no more. It is what it is.
Boots to the ground.
1,200 black people killed by police in 2015.
By any means necessary.
We all
I'm ready for war, I'm forever rebellious. And my heart full of anger. Them shackles up off my wrists and my ankles. I'm roaming with one in the chamber. Had my hands up in that cowboy campaign and said I couldn't breathe and I wasn't restraining. Ran away from them, that pit started dumping. Now when ain't nothing to do but get gangster, won't protest the picket. This shit so sickening. Now these folks killing our women and children. I know my niggas be wildin' and tripping, but now we done witness who really against us. The one with the power to position us in these fucked up conditions. I ain't no Christian, ain't good with forgiving. Ain't turning my cheek, now I'm raising that pistol. Lord, forgive me.
With all my breath, with all my strength, with all my pain, I'm fighting this war. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. No turning back, 'cause I'm free.
Hey, spread the word to my people. Got spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turn, yeah. Fuck the sticks now, nigga, give me burners. Hold up, hey, spread the word to my people. Got spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turn. We in the streets, now we all got burners. Hold up.
I'm hearing voices in my head say I need to be free. Is you blind, my nigga, 'cause it's war in these streets.
Every word persecution, you against the police.
Shackle and chained up and down.
Niggas still in these streets, turned up, yeah. Everybody wanna be a nigga, hey, but don't nobody wanna be a nigga. We keep on begging, what the fuck you think they finna give us? Black lives don't matter, boy, you still a nigga. Still treat me like a criminal. I bust back, fade to black, you don't hear me though. I don't fear it, if I give in, I gain. Washed in the blood, so I live for the game. Truth made me free, so I bang in his name. AR-15 letting my freedom burn. Insane, to repeat once again. 400 years that we deep in this thing. In game.
Get out my way! That's not my baby! No, not my baby, no!
Black mama still crying on TV. These young brothers still dying on TV. Crackers on the camera still lying on TV. 3% rappers might put it on the CD. And our leaders, most of them speechless. How you gon' preach when you ain't trying to reach us? I'm Denmark busy, but watching my own. But some of our people might help them defeat us. Watch out for leeches, snakes in the grass, I done peep them. That glare in your eye, I can see it. Heart full of hate and the mind full of secrets. Don't need to be around me, you niggas deceitful. I'm sorry, but Lord, I done got tired of praying. My patience too thin to be peaceful. It's eye for an eye, 2 for a 2. 400 to get even. Keep running, bro. We gotta fight back, man. We can't keep running, they gon' kill us anyway. Fighting to the death. We got to.
We on the grind now. Turn up.
They don't like us, man. We can't turn the cheek no more. It is what it is.
Boots to the ground.
1,200 black people killed by police in 2015.
By any means necessary.
We all
I'm ready for war, I'm forever rebellious. And my heart full of anger. Them shackles up off my wrists and my ankles. I'm roaming with one in the chamber. Had my hands up in that cowboy campaign and said I couldn't breathe and I wasn't restraining. Ran away from them, that pit started dumping. Now when ain't nothing to do but get gangster, won't protest or picket. This shit so sickening. Now these folks killing our women and children. I know my niggas be wildin' and tripping, but now we done witness who really get canceled. The one with the power to position us in these fucked up conditions. I ain't no Christian, ain't good with forgiving. Ain't turning my cheek, now I'm raising that pistol. Lord, forgive me.
with all my breath, with all my strength, with all my pain, I'm fighting this war. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. No turning back, 'cause I'm free. Hey, spread the word to my people. The spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turn, yeah. Fuck the sticks now, nigga, got me burners. Hold up, hey, hey. Spread the word to my people. The spirit fell on me, told me fight against the evil, not turn. Not turn. We in the streets, now we all got burners. Hold up. I'm hearing voices in my head say I need to be free. Ain't you blind, my nigga, 'cause it's war in these streets. Every word persecution, you against the police. Shackled and chained up and down, niggas still in these streets. Turned up, yeah. Everybody wanna be a nigga, yeah. Hey, but don't nobody wanna be a nigga. Nah. We keep on begging, what the fuck you think they finna give us? Black lives don't matter, boy, you still a nigga. Still treat me like a criminal. I bust back, fade to black, you don't hear me though. I don't fear it, if I give in, I gain. Washed in the blood, so I live for the game. Truth made me free, so I bang in his name. AR-15 letting my freedom burn. Insane, to repeat once again. 400 years that we deep in this thing. Endgame.
Get out my way and save my baby! No, not my baby, no!
Black mama still crying on TV. These young brothers still dying on TV. Crackers on the camera still lying on TV. 3% rappers might put it on the CD. And our leaders, most of them speechless. How you gon' preach when you ain't trying to reach us? I'm Denmark busy, but watching my own. But some of our people might help them defeat us. Watch out for leeches, snakes in the grass, I done peep them. They glare in your eye, I can see it. Heart full of hate and the mind full of secrets. Don't need to be around me, you niggas deceitful. I'm sorry, but Lord, I done got tired of praying. My patience too thin to be peaceful. It's eye for an eye, two for a two. 400 years, bitch, it's time to get even.
Hey,
Black power. Take 'em to the Milky Way, black showers. Boots on their watch with that black soap. Take 'em to the Great Pyramids, black.
All right. Welcome to Dirty Laundry, the podcast, y'all. Welcome to Dirty Laundry, the podcast, where we unpack hard truths and heavy baggage that affect the Black community. These are the topics that are too taboo for other cultures to touch, but too uncomfortable for us to take full accountability for. But not here. So go ahead and get you a seat. Brace yourself. And go ahead and get ready because we about to air it out. This is Dirty Laundry, y'all. Black Therapy.
Feeling so good, get a thermos, black coat.
Today,
If you really want it, you get all this black.
we got a real special guest.
I'm talking about silk.
We're going to be having a real good conversation about CRT. Yeah, I stopped the music for that. CRT, y'all. Yeah. And tonight, let me just tell y'all. Let me just tell y'all something. I got a real special guest for y'all tonight. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. So tonight, it's gonna be a conversation, an open conversation about CRT. CRT is a very uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people. So in this episode, I'll be airing it out with PSYD JD Mass, an author, a father, humanitarian, somebody that I grew up with, somebody that I know, you know what I'm saying, from St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, thanks for that. And my question is should CRT be taught in schools or only taught to Black people? We're going to unpack this tonight. JD Mass, welcome to have you on the show, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Man, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this, KO.
Yeah, man. I've been looking forward to it too. When I saw you
Yes,
at the Foundry, I was like, this is going to be a great conversation between two people.
Yeah.
Both of us are going to be able to understand each other's perspective.
Right.
This is called Dirty Laundry because these are tough issues that affect the Black community. I love to have a variety of guests on the show, but this is a special one tonight because I've been knowing you since Lassie was a puppy.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been knowing each other for a long time.
It's
not just some random person that I can bring on and ask the tough questions, and then they say something like, well, I feel uncomfortable by that. But this is Dirty Laundry. We intend to air it out.
Right.
So I'm gonna just jump right into the interview. Tell us where you're from. And tell us where you're from and all about you, my brother. Tell me about you. Sorry about that,
y'all. My parents, for those who are listening, can't see, I am a white man, grew up. My parents wanted to purposely raise their children in and around Black community with the intention of us learning not to be racist. In a country, time, and all of that, when we are naturally taught to be racist through the systems like CRT, right, that we're talking about. And so my parents took.
You know what? Let's not jump into CRT yet.
No,
but
yeah. I know. So my parents took an intentional approach, and they chose University City in St. Louis, Missouri. They grew up in Clayton, which is also in St. Louis, in a very white town, part of town. And U City at the time was really the only diverse kind of area, and that was really what they chose it for. And we moved right next door to who Shondo. And from 4 years old, I was acclimated into the Jordan family. And through that, met a ton of who became my friends in the community, and we here now. I just always wanted to show my appreciation for what Black community did for me in opening
Right.
their doors and welcoming me in.
Right. So you said you grew up in U City. So what age were you when you went there? When you went to U City, how old were you?
So I moved to U City when I was 4. I was born in Philly. And
Okay, Philadelphia.
yes, sir. My mother was in school at the time. And so, yep, they moved back to St. Louis. We moved to U City. I was 4. I went to a school called Child Grove, which is now a Church of Scientology building right where the Lions are going into the loop.
Right.
And so, you know,
I see that Church of Scientology all the time.
Yeah, so it used to be called Child Grove when we were children. It was a Montessori school kind of thing.
Right. So how was that? We got a lot of things to unpack tonight. So
yeah,
I just want to get the foundation of the building as we build it. You know,
so I went to Jackson Park in the 2nd grade.
Okay.
I was really supposed to be in the 1st grade based on my birthday being in November, but Shondo was already in the 2nd grade. My parents was comfortable with me being in the same year as him. So I'm in 93, actually 94 like you is, you know, what my class would be normally.
Don't be telling my age on the slick, bro. I'm telling my age on the slick, bro. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah. You grew up with Shondo and Mike and that and their whole entire family and good people.
Yes,
good people.
Yes,
U City genuinely made good people.
Yes,
I genuinely believe that.
Absolutely.
Right. So I can't help but to notice that you got like a PYSD behind your name.
Yeah, PsyD. So it's a doctorate of psychology. It's a doctorate of psychology. So if PhD is a doctorate of philosophy, PsyD is a doctor of psychology. My doctorate's in organizational psychology, and what it taught me was how cultures develop from environments, from thought processes of leadership, from all of these different intentions, how to create culture and change culture within an organization or community or society. So that inspired the book.
Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I had no idea what that meant. I looked at it and said PS. Then I had to go look it up, right?
Yeah.
And you did say there is a difference between that and a PhD, but it's still you're aspiring to get your PhD.
No. So the doctorate. So the PsyD is a more of an application. We did a dissertation, but it also had to be applied. So we had to have like something that we did that we had to report on the results. PhD is strictly research and in your dissertation. So you're just constantly researching and putting together, you know, your hypotheses.
Okay. All right. So I would have never thought that coming up because see, I remember you. I remember how you be. Yeah, you was laid back a little bit, but you know, you stayed in some shit.
School was not my thing. Yeah, school was not my thing until college. And in the 6th grade, it messed me up because this lady came and spoke to us about how you do good in, you know, elementary school to get yourself placed in the middle school, and then you start all over. Then you do good in middle school to get yourself placed in high school, then you start all over. Then you do good in high school, get yourself placed in college, you start all over, then you do it again, and you start over in the job. I was like, well, why start now? I'm going to just wait till I get to college and then start being a student.
I'm sad. I get that.
I'm not going to keep starting all over.
Right. So I know you grew up in U City, right?
Yes, sir.
And growing up in U City, if you're from U City, then you understand that U City is a melting pot. It's a melting pot of all different cultural backgrounds, I would say. Different cultural backgrounds, just to be safe. So growing up in U City and going to U City High School, I remember you guys having a group called the FOTI.
The freaks of the industry.
The freaks
yes, sir.
of the industry, bro.
Named after the song.
That's exactly what y'all did. Y'all was named after the song, right? And y'all had T-shirts and everything. I used to think that was cool. Y'all all had y'all all used to have the freshest Jordans. And the Jordans had to match y'all shirts. That was you, Shondo, Greg, Quick,
Nelly,
Everett, Nelly, and I was gonna say Nelly because we did go to high school with Nelly, but I was, you know, Nelly was in that mix, right? So I never forget y'all had them T-shirts, and I thought that was a cool thing, right? So coming up, so how did you and because in your book that we're gonna talk about in a second, it says that you start working with Nelly, right?
Yes.
And we're gonna get to that. But right now we're talking about CRT, right? So my question to you is this: do you believe that CRT should be taught in school as a curriculum or only taught to Black people?
So I believe racism in general needs to be understood in a very different manner in which we are taught. We are taught it's discrimination. We're taught that it's, it was slavery. We're taught that it's calling somebody the N-word. We are not taught that it is a social system designed to control resources and keep one group of people down and another group of people up in controlling resources that the earth already provides us. So when you design all of your systems around that, you have CRT. That's what the critical race theory is saying, that it is built into the cake of all of our social systems. So racism being a system is that, right? And so, yes, absolutely. We need to be taught the why we think that way.
You covered that. I'm glad you covered that. Just to interject, I'm sorry for interjecting, but I'm glad you covered that because it's ism, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to cover that because a lot of times people use the word racist and racism and stuff like that the wrong way. We can unpack that. The suffix ism means something, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a system. And it was a system of competition designed by a people that come from an area where there's a scarcity of resources. And so if we don't understand the why we even created this system, then it's hard to untangle it because we're saying, oh, you can't say the N-word. And now, okay, well, I don't say the N-word. Now I'm not racist. Oh, I got my Black friend KO. Now I'm not racist. No, you're naturally born into a system. So I'm a U-City Lion or a U-City Indian. I'm a racist because I'm born into a system that makes me benefit from having less melanin in my skin.
I couldn't have said it better. I could not have said that any better myself. I'm going to be totally honest with you. A lot of people don't know that you have no choice but to be that in a system that calls for that, right? Like we're going to unpack classism, we're going to unpack racism, we're going to unpack all that stuff, right? That's definitely got to be unpacked, right?
Yeah.
So it's imperative that we have these conversations so we know that. So by default, I think you're saying we should teach critical
we absolutely should. We should teach
absolutely
that understanding of why this system works the way it does and how racism impacts each one of these other systems.
Yeah, I'm a clap it up for that one. I think that's a good. Yeah, we're gonna clap it up for that. We're gonna make sure everybody understand that CRT has to be taught because there's a system in place that is designed to oppress a certain ethnic proclivity in ways that are beneficial to others in the system that we all coexist in, right? It's the same ecosystem, if you will, right? But go ahead. I'm gonna let you cook on that, right? So CRT should be taught, right? And did you experience any of this coming up yourself? What are your experiences with it? do you see the disparities in your own life? Do you experience them?
Yeah. I experienced being treated differently when I was with my Black friends, when I was not with my Black friends. I experienced my family looking at my parents a certain way for raising us in New City versus being out in Clayton or Chesterfield in a wider area when we could have, afforded that or whatnot. I experienced the ability to be treated differently at the mall when I was by myself versus when they thought I was with my group of friends, or then just my friends were treated, right? I took back so many Club Classic Reebok shoes to Famous Bar, and I took them back for people.
We used to shop at Famous Bar. Just for y'all who don't know that we used to shop at Famous Bar. It's just what we used to do. Go ahead, bro. Catalogs and all kinds of shit.
Right. But I would take back shoes for somebody that wore 4 sizes bigger than me and met me in the parking lot within minutes of being turned down, and I would go right back to the same person and be able to exchange those shoes. So I've been on this journey to really understand the why. Like, okay, I get it. You've been taught this, but why did we start this whole process in the beginning? And why is it so difficult for us to untangle this mindset and just want to heal it and CRT and understanding of that is important.
So so knowing where we come from, right? Knowing the school district that we all come from, we don't have the same experiences, right? And this is why critical race theory has to be taught, because it helps people to understand that there is a system in place. But we didn't experience that in the intertribal way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like a interconnected. It's just if I could describe U City, I would just say you saw everybody.
Everybody.
It was everybody there. It was like
literally the wealthy part of U City can match up with the wealthy part of any area. Right, the hoods and low income areas can match up with the low income areas, and it was all within riding your bike distance.
It was the same ecosystem,
right?
If you will.
And so it not only crossed classism, but it crossed races. It crossed, like, we saw each other as youth and in our purest form growing up. No matter where we came from, we got a chance to experience some level of humanity at that childlike level. And that's where we were the most able to receive that innocence. And that's a beautiful thing about U City. I wish everybody else had the opportunity to experience.
Yeah, they hate on us real bad. But so obviously that led to you being friends with people of, African American background, right? So that's how you wound up running into, because I know the story, right? Why don't you tell the audience how you wound up meeting Nelly and wound up taking this roller coaster ride on with him, and then now writing a book, that we are gonna get into later in the interview. But how did that happen? Was it because of what we talking about? You guys put aside your cultural differences and just said, we're gonna work together? Did you still feel the divide, even though you had a camaraderie with Black people, but you're not Black? You are Jewish, right?
Yes.
You would be considered Jewish, right?
Yeah. I am.
Right. All right. So tell us how you wound up. Let's fast forward. You go through U City. You meet all your friends. You cool with Shondo. You cool with Mike. You wind up, because I know how school was. We kicked it because it was like a concert. And then when we graduated, you graduated, and then you left and went with Nelly. Or how did that come about? How did that situation?
So I met Nelly in the 7th grade when he moved to U City, and then right before 9th grade, he started to come over with Shondo because they played basketball together, and so Shondo brought friends to my house. We hung out at my house. We hung out at Shondo's house, or his grandmother's house, or we hung out at Nelly's house eventually. Those was kind of the 3 main places where the most of us would come and collaborate. And so after high school, I went into college. I went to Ohio State for a year, but came back and then graduated from St. Louis U. And while I was going through college, Nelly and Shondo and the rest of us were still, Fatty and everybody was still hanging out tough. And so, you know, while he was developing his career in rap, we was right there. And I had started a tennis teaching company in college, and you know, so I started this whole entrepreneur thing, and then I started working with other entrepreneurs and you know, trying to help them out. And so when his career took off, he would text me. We had the two-way pagers at that time, and he would text me, "Hey, I want," you know, and I went into banking to learn the banking world, so that I could impact. I wanted to, you know, go through the banking world and impact change and really open it up and start making loans to, you know, Black America where they were being denied loans. So that was my mindset and goal. And then, you know, one of my best friends becomes an international.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you worked in finance? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then your friends what?
So then one of my best friends becomes an international music star in 2000, and it didn't happen slowly and gradually. It went from not being known to
being known everywhere.
First week, you're up there with Britney Spears, Eminem, and Nelly. And so he brought me on to help him with entrepreneurial ideas that he had. And from there,
he brought you on.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And from there, you guys.
And then from there, his management team also was like, "Hey, can you help us? Because this is taking off so fast." And so we ended up partnering, T Love and myself and Yella and Courtney B. So.
Yeah, man. Yella Mac.
Yes.
Courtney B. T Love. Shout out to y'all, man. You city's finest, man. We know who you is, man. Hey, shout out to the legends. St. Louis, man. You city got some legends, man. From our school came one of the biggest stars to ever touch down.
Right.
So, you know, so you guys go through your thing. I want to talk about your book, man. I want to talk about how that wound up. Do you and Nelly still talk, or are you still in contact with him? Do you still do business with him at all?
No, we don't do business. We're not like regularly in contact. If you know, it was a few years back, we went to a Cardinals game. He did a show out in LA. I lived out in LA for 15 years, so my son is out there. He did a show the day before my son's 19th birthday, so I was able to take my son backstage, meet him, him and another friend of his. So, you know, he's gracious to me. We're kind of like brothers that don't really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all gotta be
that
cool.
Don't speak, but still wish each other well. Like, you know, I see him with Ashanti and his family, and you know, I'm very happy when I see him smiling and enjoying his life. So,
I'm saying like I try to keep it I try to keep it light in terms of me knowing Nelly and knowing, you know, our history from U City and all that stuff, because every man shine on his own, you know what I'm saying? Right. We do know that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying you guys were really close, I know, when you were younger, which brings me to life after that, right? So So now let's jump right in there. You got the book. You write the book. The name of the book is Race for What?
Yeah.
For what? Race for what? Right? And I want y'all to see the cover. Race for what? A white man's journey and guide to healing racism from within.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I had the privilege of reading a lot of these pages. I'm actually almost done. And in here, you know, you talk about your trials and triumphs. I get into it where you wound up marrying the president of Apple Bottoms.
Yes. So we brought Leslie in. We met her through Vocal, which we got into a relationship with a manufacturing partner and licensor that really was bad business for us. They didn't have the same philosophy. They tried to really pimp and extract Nelly at every point, and they wanted him only to wear vocal everywhere and whatnot. But through that, we met her, and she grew up in the clothing business. And because of that bad experience, Nelly wanted to do apple bottoms as a manufacturing. He wanted to be much more entrepreneurial on that. And so we got into it. She became president. I ended up.
So the reason why, there's a reason why I asked that, right? For the audience to understand, is that it says a white man's journey and guide through healing racism from within. Just to add perspective, your wife was black, right? You have mixed children.
No, so I do have mixed children. I have
am I airing out your dirty? I'm airing out
so
your dirty laundry.
My wife was Jewish. She and I did not have a child. We had the miscarriage on the pregnancy that got us to commit to a marriage, but no, I had a child afterwards. My daughter lives in Virginia, but my son I met his mother when he was 6, and he's 21 now, and I've been dad ever since. That's my main guy. Now, the funniest thing is, you know the difference between me and Shondo in height. He's a foot taller than me. So is my son. My son looked like he probably should be Shondo's son, and instead, but like,
man,
but
don't say that. Don't say nothing like that.
Not in that way. Not in that way.
All right, but jumping right in here, man, a journey and guide to healing racism from within, right? So
yes.
The reason why I asked you about that, because I knew you said you had a mixed child.
Yes.
Right? And you want to heal racism from within, and you have a mixed child, and you've had your experiences with Black people and stuff like that. But give me a life-changing event, right, that made you want to stand up and speak out on racism and try to change the system, because there is a claim that you can help, but you can't be a part of the struggle.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So what life-changing event happened for you that made you want to change racism from within?
Right. So what sort of put me on the path was childhood, and learning about Martin Luther King. And because, like we just talked about at U City, I didn't understand why Martin Luther King was even famous at all, right? And that didn't make sense to me, because what he said, what we were taught about what he said, just made sense. Like, okay, judge everybody by their character.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Right.
Yeah, so, but there's a disconnect there in that moment where you're able to say that, but to us, he was an icon. Do you understand what I'm saying? That would be a detachment.
No, I know that. So that opened my eyes to, everybody doesn't think like me, right? So being put on that path, again, I went to a family event, and then I went to Shondo's family event within the same day. And it was such a different world of events. And yet they was 15 to 20 minutes away from each other. So I still got shown love. It was a very different way of being shown love. It was much more comfortable going to Shondo's event and being called the N-word as soon as I got there, about 12 times, and then hanging out with them and making sure that I, greeted grandma and aunts and uncles and everybody. And I was accepted for who I was there. And in this other side, I really was kind of told, this is kind of how you have to be, because you're representing this family, this culture in this way. Right. And so being able to experience that in the same day, knowing most people don't get to experience that in a day, let alone sometimes even a lifetime, I knew I had to be on a path to want to bring forth some change.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying you saw how people acted that were in the Jewish community and in your particular family. You did say that you had a Black child, but you married a Jewish wife.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes, because I know your culture, and that your culture dictates that you do have to marry culturally inside of your family.
Yeah,
Right.
especially as a man, because
that's law, right? That's law. So that's very telling. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's a very telling thing, because you guys can exhibit cultural exclusivity without intrusion. And then black people have to be apologetic for their culture, or even have their culture dismissed as not real, whether it be by naivete or actual, you understanding that that's who that person is or isn't. It's still a privilege, right? And you can't have one without the other. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
This is dirty laundry. I do put people in the hot seat. Y'all know that?
Yes,
but,
sir.
But we have to have these conversations to be clear.
You spoke about, though, the within part, and that really came from the meeting the Hebrew Israelite community that lives in Israel. My sister ended up moving there. But when I
was going to ask you about that.
Them,
I was going to ask you about that.
And I met them through Nelly. Nelly's uncle lived there and brought me over. And my grandmother took me on my first trip to Israel, and I was able to negotiate a half a day out of these 12 days to get down to this village where this Hebrew Israelite community of people that left, black folks that left in the 60s during the Martin Luther King and Malcolm X era to go through Liberia, spent 2 years shedding themselves of American ways, getting back in touch with the land, and then going and setting up shop in Israel and saying, hey, we are the descendants of the original Hebrew Israelites. We are here on the laws of return, which changed, which was why my family wanted me to marry a Jewish woman, because the laws of return changed the next year. Those Jews were like, hold on, we can't have you coming busting up and telling the truth about us. We just got here. You have to be born of a Jewish mother now in order to come back on the law of return. And that makes you Jewish.
That was political. Hey, y'all do hear that shit was political. That was some political shit. Hey, but not only that, that is a stance that says that we want to have a certain integrity associated with our name, right? So that's interesting that I found that you went with the Black Hebrew Israelites, because a lot of people don't know, and I do. The Falasha and the Limba tribes have been practicing what we consider Judaism for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? And during the sacking of Jerusalem under Titus, you know how many Jews fled into Africa, right? So there's a whole litany of things that I could really bring out as far as
And could those be who were traded, right? So it wasn't just Africans trading Africans; it was Africans trading Hebrews to be slaves, right?
Well, the thing is that slavery is still ongoing.
It's still ongoing, for sure.
Human trafficking is.
That's why CRT is still important.
We don't and this is all this dirty laundry. You have stains from everywhere. You won't have just one specific stain. You have a multiplicity of stains. Like, have you ever eaten a hot dog and had a t-shirt on? You're gonna have relish, ketchup, and mustard. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a whole hodgepodge of things. But to accurately see, this is why I had this topic for us to have this conversation. Because I read, like I said, I'm into your book, and I wanted to cover a spot where it says you would get disdain. Let me not misquote you. I won't misquote you. Let me quote you accurately. I'll do this accurately. It's a quote from chapter 2. You know what I'm saying? But before we do that, I want to stay on the topic of race and what's culturally correct. All right. So to be known as Jewish, is that a religion or is that a culture?
So it's both, right? Because
explain.
There is a difference. There, Jewish and Hebrew Israelite are two different things. Even though the Jewish people have claimed to be the descendant of the Hebrew speaking Israelite.
So check this out. All right. So we know, hold on. Let me say this real quick. Let me throw this in there because I don't want to hang on this point too much because it'll turn into something else. I don't want to do that. But to be a Judean, that means that you descend from the tribe of Yehuda, right?
Right. But when you start putting the "j" sound on it, that is a Greco-Roman sound because there is no Hebrew sound.
I said both, and I did it intentionally.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I did it intentionally to show that I do know the difference, right?
Right.
So what I'm asking is if we're talking about critical race theory, there's a word in there that's race.
Mm-hmm.
But race is applicable to race for wealth standards in this country. I mean, those of us who understand how money work and capitalism works, then you understand that this race for what? The title of your book is like race for what?
Right.
What is the race?
Right.
What has been the race?
Right.
For all of us, right? Mm-hmm. And once we start talking about Jewish, this is not anti-Semitic. This is not anti-Semitic rhetoric, as if that could be a thing, right? But what this is a conversation between two people, right? And you said that in your book, you said you went to go talk to the Hebrew Israelites who moved back to Israel or Yisrael or Yashra or however we pronounce it, either in a Yiddish tongue, because that's what Hebrew technically is in this lifetime. It's not Aramaic. It's not even, it doesn't have any Phoenician wrapped in it too much. And it's mingled in with something else. But right? Israel was a man, correct?
Right. Exactly. Not a place, for sure.
Not a place. He was a man, not a land.
Right.
All right. So moving along here, right? And what we're going to talk about is that actual point, right? And this is what you said in chapter 2 of your book. You said, quote from the book, chapter 2, that's how shit goes, right?
Yeah.
My mother and I shared a disdain for the translations, especially the one that looks upon all white Jews as the chosen people.
Mm-hmm.
End quote.
Yes.
Can you explain that? Can you go through that? Can you explain that to me? Help me understand that. Because where is that written at, and what is that? Because when we say you're trying to cure the racism within, this is something that's very important.
Right.
Go ahead.
So it was always taught to me that European Jews, because that's all we were around, we just called ourselves Jews, but I want to identify us as Europeans, Greco-Romans. That's the important part. Right. That we were the chosen people. And because of that, we were to set the example. We were chosen. There was something better about us. And that was sort of the arrogance that we carried with us. This is why we're hated. This is why we're chosen to run all these things. We're chosen to do all these things. We need to stick together because we are the chosen ones. As if there's this God up there going, yep, I like you. You get over here. Yep. Nope. Don't like you. You get over there. Right. When I got with the Hebrew Israelite people, I learned that you're chosen by choosing to behave according to the laws of nature, the universe, the creator, and you choose to be the example. And so it is a different level of, it's not a arrogant standpoint, it is a practice standpoint. We have to choose to be humanitarians. We have to choose to be these things. You are not chosen just because you're chosen because of all of these you've got to be able to connect to the earth, understand life, go through all of these processes and be at one. And so coming from this disconnected world of Europe and having less melanin in our skin, which doesn't even allow us to have the relationship with the earth that people have, the relationship with the earth who have more melanin. made me go, oh, yeah, we had to twist that around so that we could look superior. It falls under the white supremacy cultural way of approaching things, right? Which all stems back to this Greco-Roman European kind of desire to dominate. And so that was one of the tribes, right? Judaism became a culture as well as the religion because it was part of this one European type of culture. Another European culture is Christianity, which divides into other subcultures of religions. But as a culture, it is because of that, not being the culture of the original Hebrew people who wrote those teachings that ended up.
So would you say that the original Hebrew people were people that had melanin?
Oh yeah,
well, everyone has melanin, but would you say that they were darker complected people?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. For sure.
For sure. So in school, and this is one of the questions that we asked, do you think it should be taught as a curriculum?
Absolutely.
Right? And not just to Black people, it should be taught to everyone because but think about this for a second. Let's play Angel's Advocate, right? Let me play Angel's Advocate real quick. But wouldn't that mess with the system? Wouldn't that bother the system? Because in capitalism, right. So actually giving a people and informing a certain people of their possible identity, because there's this thing where a lot of us, I like to say we're Aboriginal.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like to say that we are, well, because that creates, go back to Africa, that creates a Pan-African movement. I mean, if we're looking at the continent and it once was Pangea, then melanated people are from everywhere. And to put us into a subculture and not really that is kind of ridiculous.
Right.
So you believe that it should be taught in schools.
Right. And I believe the word should be Aboriginal and Indigenous, not Black and white.
Right. Okay, let's go through Black and white. I always tell people Black is an adjective, not a noun.
Right.
My skin is not black, it's brown.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
sure.
What in your finance experience? I'm gonna ask you this. I gotta ask this. In your finance experience and having a background in that, and stereotypically people will be like, kind of commonplace. Jewish people that mess with money.
Right, for sure.
They like money. Right? But I mean, is that true or not?
Yeah. We knew we needed to have a certain level of power and control over resources. When you go into economics, the economics courses are designed from this European scarcity mindset that tell you that there is a scarcity of resources on the planet. This is first day econ, any level you take. There is a scarcity of resources on the planet. Therefore, we are in competition to control those resources. That statement alone, those two sentences alone, sets up an entire cultural practice, right? I see you as competition now because there is a scarcity. If all we thought was this water was all that existed on the planet, then we would be fighting, Kev. We wouldn't be so genuinely supportive of one another because every time I take a sip, that's a sip you could have had. So there's zero-sum mentality stems from that scarcity place. Well, there was a scarcity of resources in Europe, and we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have phones and cars and planes and all of that. So we developed a whole entire cultural practice thinking that we're in competition constantly. That's why we developed racism.
So if we go deeply into banking cartels and stuff like that, and following money and doing things like that, then I mean, even with the trafficking of humans, right?
Yes.
If one would do his own history work, he would find out a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I happen to know a little bit of history. You ever seen this movie, Kingdom of Heaven, with Orlando Bloom in it?
I have not. I've heard of
it.
So
in the plot of that movie, they were fighting over the Holy Land, and how this correlates is that during a certain time in history, the Mamluks, or what we know as the Ottoman Empire, moved into a place where once people in one at once upon a time, people culturally lived in this area, and they inhabited the area and shielded themselves in a particular cultural practice, and then ostracized everybody else, and then names were switched, and then you got United States funding both sides of the war, and Henry Kissinger and them, and they doing stuff to establish the state of Israel, and the War of Independence, and Yom Kippur, and all of these different things. I'm saying at the heart of our financial system, the financial system is the lifeblood of this economy.
Right.
It is, right? So where we would have to nip it in the bud is we would have to actually tell the truth, and that's going to bother the system.
That's going to bother the system. But you know who wants to know the truth? More than anybody in this world who wants to know the truth is children.
Who is that?
Children. When I'm telling you, Kev, I was in Orthodox Jewish schools, and some of them were the most spoiled rotten in Los Angeles. I'm substitute teaching, and some of them were the most spoiled rotten, just thought, living off of this whole, we're the chosen people. You can't tell me nothing. I can do whatever I want.
But listen, where does critical thinking come in?
Listen, just 1 second, real quick.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
When they spoke to me and got out of line and then told me, but I'm the chosen people, and I checked them and said, no, we are the descendants of the Greco-Romans who came in during the Crusades, not of the Aboriginal people of Israel or of the Hebrew writings, the Israelites. Do you know they would sit down and go, wait a second, you can teach me something? Let me learn. Children want to know the truth. We are tired. They tired of being lied to.
Look. So check this out. Like I said, man, I've studied a lot. Like I said, it's just where we're from. We study, we learn, we do stuff. Okay, so I know that Goyim, a Jewish person cannot call themselves a Goyim.
Yeah,
they can't. It's actually politically incorrect, because Goyim or Goyim is actually what is considered a European, right?
Right.
Or someone, right? So you can't be. I'm just to your point, to what you were saying, right? So the fire has gotten inside of you to want to be able to tell the truth. That's why you wrote this book.
Yeah.
That's why you did this, brother.
Right. Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the journey that you went through with getting to the point where you were almost done with this book. You were almost done with this book. I just got done writing a book, and I know how it is to say, "Oh, I'm finished." Right. In these pages, look at this book, y'all. I'm gonna have you tell us where we can get this. In the pages of this book, what do you expect your readers to see? The question is, and I ask you this: what, who, and why? And this is in terms of the book. What do you seek to accomplish from writing this book?
So I see that there are a lot of people who want different and don't know how to do different. And so the first half is story.
Can you explain that? Can you explain what you mean by that?
So it's good-hearted white folks that are in anti-racism work, or just want to help people, or, hey, I don't want you to suffer. I might not want to give up what I have in order for you to stop suffering, but I don't want you to suffer. I'm a good-hearted white person. I got my black friend Kev over here. I meet him at Starbucks once every 2 months, and I'm not racist. I don't want to be known as racist. I don't want to be associated with these negative things. Right?
That's kind of harmful, though. But go ahead.
Exactly. And so because of that, they don't even have a clue, because in our systems, I mean, look, the people that designed and run these systems, kudos, like they did a great job in mental screwing us, right?
Right. All
of us, and especially less melanated folks, because we're the ones that are lied to the most. And it's not about us, because, right? So if I tell you a lie about your lady, she knows it's a lie. I know it's a lie. You're the only one that has to go figure that out. But if I've set up all these incentive systems for you to never want to figure that out, then I'm the one that's you the one that's most confused. So that's what we are as white folks. We are the ones that are most confused. We think this is a skin color. No, this is a lack of melanin. Right? I didn't get painted white. I'm missing something important that would allow me to be connected to the earth outside more.
But isn't white applicable to classism? Because no one,
sure.
I mean, your skin is not
generated to make
white.
It was generated to align people so that we can control resources.
Exactly.
It's easily to identify that you and I don't look the same.
Hence,
from a distance, I can tell, here comes one of them guys.
Hence the reason we're talking about critical race theory, because the theory behind critical race theory is that, just to explain, is that there are systems in place that specifically oppress people of color, Black people. And I don't even like being called people of color. Me personally, I don't like the term Black, right? All right. So when I hold my arm up and I say, well, what color is my skin, right? Look at my skin. What color is my skin? And somebody will say, well, your skin is black. And I say, no, it's not. My skin is brown.
Right.
My skin is brown. My skin isn't black. It's brown. Right. But why did the person say black and they see brown is the problem?
Right.
And that's where critical race theory comes in. It's because you don't even know that you are subjected to Eurocentricized white male hegemony on a regular basis, right? On a regular basis. So breaking down the system, like you said, and healing racism, the only way we can heal racism, in my opinion, is if we totally destroy the system. But here's the problem. All of us benefit from the system of capitalism in our own ways.
Right.
And if we saying something biblical, it would be known as Babylon the Great. Or if you're looking at Bereshit, or looking at Old Testament, because a lot of times now let me ask you this while I'm asking this. Do you read the Torah or do you read the Talmud?
I know the Torah more than the Talmud.
Okay. So a lot of times Mystery Babylon, right? The beast is kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? I got so many questions, right? And the reason why I got so many questions is because we got to understand that it's a system that we have to get rid of.
And this, right. And so
what's this?
The system is built on lies. I have to build it on lies. Kev, do you remember when we was growing up, the Latter-day Saints commercial that came on on Saturdays? When you tell one lie, it leads to another. So you tell two lies to cover each other. And it takes you through this whole journey of how you got to keep lying and keep lying and keep lying. So if I'm telling you that I have white skin, not that I'm less melanated than you, and I'm telling you that makes me superior, those are two lies that now I have to build entire systems to make it appear that way. They'll never be true because that's not the truth.
Right.
So I got to keep staying in front of you with education. I got to keep you from learning the truth. I got to keep staying in front of you with media. I got to keep you from learning the truth. I got to keep staying in front of you by using capitalism and this monetary system when it should be just a medium for exchange of energy. But now I've taken it and made it into a control system. And I got to make you that carrot dangled in front of you as needing this money when really money doesn't do anything. It's the exchange of energy that does something. So this money should just be that medium for that. And instead it's now a tool weaponized for control through, as you mentioned, CRT, all of these systems being designed to keep up those lies.
Man, listen, I could not have said that better myself. And why would I? I don't even have to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? We can clap that up. Because, and like I said, this is Dirty Laundry, where we air out issues that are tough for the Black community. I think that the foundations have to be set in order for us to have these conversations, so we can know. And I always talk about having cultural exclusivity to people, because it's important for Black people to have cultural exclusivity.
Right.
In a system that says it's a melting pot, it's imperative that we have cultural exclusivity. What culture is that? If our culture is defined by the system that we say is oppressive, then we don't actually have a culture at all.
You're not allowed to.
We're not allowed to. So how is it that, how do we look over that? We can't look over that. And that's why you wrote this book.
That's why I wrote the book. And that's why melting pot is such a wrong term to have, because the melting pot makes you have to melt into or assimilate into my system.
I would agree.
Right?
I would agree.
Having an entire, like Jane Elliott, shout out to her, says, what if it's a salad bowl? We got different things in the salad bowl. I'm not trying to make the lettuce to the tomato. I can enjoy the fact that I got a lettuce and a tomato in the same salad bowl. But if I make it a melting pot, then I'm telling you, you have to assimilate. So sure, you're welcome to come, Kev, as long as you behave in a way that supports me.
Of course. As long as it's something that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So, brother, y'all heard it first. You know what I'm saying? This is okay. For those of you who weren't on the interview, who don't know what we've been talking about critical race theory. Should it be taught only to Black children, or should it be taught in the school system? Me personally, I don't think that CRT creates an inferiority complex, right?
Not at all.
We as great people, because I think that you got good and bad people on all sides, right?
Right.
But us as Black people, right? We have an opportunity to stick together under a cultural banner, and we're not allowed to because of this lie that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think that it builds an inferiority complex. I think that it emboldens people.
Mm-hmm.
See, people like to say that if you teach CRT, you're going to have this inferiority complex. It's not an inferiority complex. It's a confirmation. It's validation.
I know all of these things about my lack of melanin, and it frees me to be the best version of myself, because I can know what I can and cannot do. It frees me more than people that are trying to just spend their time positioning themselves in life. I can just go be the best human I can be. It's totally freeing.
It's liberating. It's actually
Absolutely.
Quite liberating for you to be the free, but to totally be free of it. That means that this system that we're speaking of has to come down.
Right.
And I say this all the time. I have friends who give me pushback when I speak about things that are unapologetically Black, and then I say, you know, we are supposed to have cultural exclusivity. That's not me. Like we were talking about suffixes like ism, right? But ist, right?
Yeah.
I think that it's impossible for a Black person to be a racist.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Because ist means that you specialize in something. A pianist, a guitarist, a violinist, a linguist,
right,
and any other ist suffix that you can use. So the system has to come down. So what I tell my white friends is that if you're going to speak up and speak out for these issues, you have to start at home. You got to start telling your people.
Yeah,
it's not that we need to know. We know already.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We've been yelling this from the rooftops for a long time. It's that more people like yourself that represent your culture need to stand up and say, you know, this is fucked up. We don't want to treat them like this anymore. It's throwing everything off. You saying I'm being a good human, right? You got to start at home.
Yeah.
I always describe it like this: you get your village idiots, we'll get ours.
Right.
you get your clowns, we'll get ours. We'll take care of our motherfucking people. You take care of yours. Right? So where can we find this gym, man? What, like I said, so my next question, where can we find this gym though? Where can the people find this at?
Anywhere online books are sold, but specifically go to raceforwhat.com. That's race FOR what.com. And see what's happening on the site, and you can find outlets to the book. It's in audio book, it's in ebook, and it's in paperback.
Okay. All right, that's what's up. We're gonna drop it again. I'm gonna make sure I plug it. So y'all ain't gonna have no excuse to not get the book. You should get the book. I'm reading it and it's good. I applaud you, bro, because I put books down if they're not entertaining.
Yeah,
to be honest, I got books. I put them down, but this one has been entertaining. So who do you think will be most impacted by your book? Who do you seek to impact with your book?
Who do I seek to impact is the younger the generation in that college age, especially us with less melanated skin, to give us tools to understand that we can let go of this system. Because when you talk about taking the system down, they're ready for the fight, right? It's racism. It's a ready competition. So they ready for the fight. That's why this protesting, it's a nuisance, but it's like the damn gnats and, oh God, just get away from me. Okay, but eventually I'm going to outlive that nuisance. What I'm not ready for is for you to let go of the powers of that I operate under and start doing your own thing in a much more humane way and just way, right? When Black Wall Street rises up, we tear them down because you're a threat to us, not because you're trying to cause us harm, but because if people find out how humane you are and what a wonderful life it is to live the way you're living and how capable you are, and I'm not practicing my own capabilities, I'm practicing positioning myself above you, then that makes me threatened by your greatness. And that's right. That's where it really, so the more of us white folks that let go of this and start to recognize, and that's what the tools in the book are for, is to really give us the understanding of how to recognize such a difference, because we aren't taught that, right? We aren't taught any other cultures in the world, period. None, not even Black culture, and y'all are in our faces much more than it, right? We're not taught about any other cultures, so that we think that this is life and this is our world. It ain't life. It's disconnected from life. And if we learn how to reconnect and revalue our systems, then we can tear those down. Then all of a sudden, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all of that, they don't have the same control, power, or any of that. They don't have that wealth.
They don't have a monopoly on certain resources. But
right.
I teach my son that wealth is the accumulation of resources. You know what I'm saying? Once you have an accumulation of resources, that's what we consider wealth. You know, when we start talking about fiat currency and UCC codes and, you know, stuff like that, and birth certificates, and, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot, right? because it's a lot, right? Because even just using certain vernacular, certain terminology, certain legalese, certain everything, it's just a whole different world in terms of. I mean, you got work to do, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, you got work to do if you're gonna turn this down.
I got a lot of work to do.
You got a lot of work
every now and then, Kev. Every now and then, I just need you to come into the room and be the guy in the back of the cell and trading places and just go, yeah. and then walk out.
That's all you need me to do.
Because sometimes you're in that room with white folks and they don't get it. And if nobody black is there to stamp it, then they can dismiss me like they dismiss black folks all the time, right?
So
but if we standing together, every now and then you just come in and be like, yeah. And
right.
Then,
right. Now, do you think that they think that you overly empathize with the black struggle and it means demise for them? Because if we look at a thing like in terms of gross domestic product, who's the largest consumer of goods? Like I understand that. Okay, I know the language. I know the language. Come on, like you guys know me, right? But I think how much do we spend? I want to say we spend more than 1.8 now. We spend about 2.4 trillion annually as black people, and then our money stays in our community for less than 2 hours.
Right.
So, if we rewind all the way back to the beginning of this interview, it's very telling that, the law of return, you having to do this, you had to show this, and they apply it to culture, but that culture's robbed. So you got a big job, bro. And I hope you're ready for it.
I'm
ready. So I'm assuming, and this we're gonna leave on this one. Who do you think? And I mean, you said that you told me who it will impact the most, but why do you think white people need it the most?
Because we're the ones that are most deceived. We're the weapons of mass destruction. We are.
You're trying to get me put off the earth right now. What are you trying to do to me? You're trying to get me. I just kicked it off. You just we ain't even been talking that long. If something if it blanks out, just know that is not me doing that. Okay, that is something going on with them. So with that, man, the book is Race for What? You can find this where at again? Tell me where we can find this. And like I said,
raceforwhat.com and anywhere books are sold online. Audio book, ebook, or paperback.
Look at that, man. Look at that. I'm telling you, look at him in the middle. Y'all see him in the middle. Look at him in the middle.
I had hair back then.
Hey, look, I had hair back then too, bro. I had hair back then too. Hey man, thank you for the interview.
Yeah,
it's been a wonderful time with you, man. I had a great conversation with you tonight. I appreciate you being so transparent, man. Until we meet again, bro. Holla at me, y'all. This Dirty Laundry, man. I get with you, Jesse.
Yes, sir.
All right now.
okay with that?
No, not tonight because of the interview.
Oh, okay. Well, let me call you tomorrow and we'll go over something.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay.
Hello. You and Dad can go to hell. Yeah. I said you and Dad can go to hell.